Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so Kevin Bench, let's go back to you. McClune's has a tradition, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got, like I said before, we've got a bunch of restaurants up in New Jersey. And the owner, Tim McClune, is the head of the Holiday Express charity, which is huge up in the New Jersey area. So that's big. But the tradition that's local down here is our sunset countdown, which is huge. Every night we count down to the sunset, and everybody, all of our servers, pop on some shades, and we hand them out to the customers, and it's a really fun time. It's a really fun way to
So what happens
get
if the
things
sun
going.
doesn't go down?
We do it anyway.
Okay, you do.
We'll just keep doing it. We've had cloudy days, we've had hazy days. We just do it all the time. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
So what are you making next?
What I'm going to make now is I'm going to make you a McClune's margarita.
Okay.
It's a little different than a normal margarita, but it's pretty much the same idea. It's Patron Silver, and you get your sour mix and all. And the thing that makes it a little bit different is that we put a Grand Marnier floater at the top of ours. So complements all of the flavors really well. So I'll make a whole one so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll split it up so everybody can have a little sample.
Sam Nellis is going to be sorry he overslept.
Yes, no
That's
kidding.
all I can say.
Oh, it's very pretty.
There we go. Yeah, so
beautiful.
And then of course the
lime.
What
a
Can't
great
beat
While you're pouring that out, we're going to turn to Casey Taylor Patton of Taylor Gourmet. It sounds almost bizarre to say it in this way, but it's the hottest sandwich shop in town. Who would think that a sandwich shop would get hot? But you guys have taken the city by storm.
Yeah, originally when we opened up our first location on H Street, we thought that we were going to have a real fun project, in the restaurant, and slowly it keeps picking up steam. We then opened up a location at 5th and K at City Vista, and then about 2 weeks ago we opened up in Bethesda on Bethesda Row.
Wait, hold on. Well, before we talk about all your different locations and how they differ, let's just talk about the initial concept. I mean, what did you guys originally want to get out there?
Originally, my business partner and I moved down here after college. We both went to Penn State.
Boo. I'm sorry. Just came out.
Hey, my parents went to Penn State.
Just came out. Boo them, too. They're not here.
I know.
We had grown up in the Philadelphia area, and you could get a hoagie almost anywhere you go. When we came to D.C., we were surprised that you couldn't get a really good roll with some quality meats and cheeses. So we went around searching for a couple of years, couldn't find anything. And
you spent a couple of years searching for a hoagie?
Yeah, absolutely. And had purchased a building on H Street a couple of years back. When the retail tenant had left, we said, hey, can't find a hoagie around. Why don't we do our own?
So where did you go to research hoagies? I mean, did you hit White House up in Atlantic City? I mean, where'd you go?
White House is always a staple to go
Jimmy's.
to. In Philadelphia, there's numerous sandwich shops.
Right.
And in the Italian section, you can go find some incredible sandwiches.
Levitt's is closed, though. Levitt's used to have amazing, fish cake sandwiches.
It is.
I'm from Philly originally. I didn't know that. So
nobody cares.
No,
anyway.
Okay, moving on. So you open up your first place, and is that? I mean, it's a totally different area. I mean, how was the initial response?
It was a transition. It was a transitional area, but it's a phenomenal neighborhood, and there's a lot of buy-in when restaurants open up on H Street, and the community really gets behind you, and it was a great experience, and everybody seemed to enjoy.
So how did you come up with your sandwiches? I mean, you have some really interesting offerings. How did you come up with the different ones? I mean, do either of you have a cooking background, or did you bring on somebody who cooks or a chef?
I have a cooking background. I grew up working in kitchens the majority of
Why aren't you fat?
Of my life.
Really? Were you eating hoagies and bread and all that?
Oh, and look, Jill's bringing over the hoagies. Thank you, Jill. Thank you.
So, some of the combinations, are a little bit different, but we wanted to take kind of classic Italian sandwiches, and then add some different flavors in. Almost everything that we do over at Taylor Gourmet is from scratch. So we roast off all of our own turkeys every day. We roast off all of our own roast beef. All of our chicken cutlets are made from scratch. Our roast pork, we roast in-house. So we try our best to bring non-prepared foods in and start from scratch.
Okay, except for the bread.
Except for the bread. Now, the bread's one of the the biggest things.
Right.
It comes from Sarcone's Bakery in Philadelphia. It is I believe, 5-generation bakery.
Right.
Right in the Italian market. And they create these phenomenal rolls. They're in between, I'd say, an Italian roll and a French roll. Mm-hmm. But for us, what's the best characteristic is it's crusty. Mm-hmm. Right? It has phenomenal chew and can stand up to just about anything that you put on it.
So it's able to soak up all the juices.
Here's my question. I'm tasting pesto in the one that I'm eating, correct?
You are eating the Lombard Avenue.
Do you not believe that putting pesto on a hoagie is mixing cultures to the point where it's dangerous?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Because I used to run a grinder shop, and it was mustard, mayo. My chair just fell apart. That was not my stomach. No, but it was mustard, mayo, and
one of the
pesto.
One of the things that we do is we don't use any mustard or mayonnaise on any of the sandwiches.
Say what?
So
no, absolutely not. So we think that the flavors that we've come up with in the meats and the cheeses that we've selected and the house roast meats that we put on there, that mustard and mayonnaise is only going to cloud what we're really getting you to try to taste.
Oh, I love
heresy.
Yeah. So we also have some customers that don't take our same opinion. But.
Well, that's okay. They can put it on themselves.
Exactly.
It's really good.
All right, so let's talk about your location.
Sure.
So you just opened up in Bethesda.
We opened up in Bethesda.
Totally different from the City Vista and 8th Street areas. So what did you do differently in Bethesda? Or didn't you?
Well, we kept everything the same. The look and the feel of the stores are the same. It's industrial, it's rustic, it's contemporary. Mm-hmm. We use lots of real interesting lighting fixtures. We hang 55-gallon oil drums that we turn into accent lights from the ceiling. We have drywall buckets that we use as downlights. Lots of reclaimed wood. Mm-hmm. So the look and feel is the same. The one thing about Bethesda is you're right there on Bethesda Row. And our other 2 locations were somewhat destination locations.
Right, you're off the beaten track.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been real busy.
I bet.
And it's interesting to see the potential, now that you're in in kind of.
And do you still have the market set up in the? I haven't been into the new Bethesda one yet, but do you have? You sell gourmet items as well. So is that a component of it as well?
In the Bethesda location, we didn't do it.
Okay.
We weren't going to go down the road to get a liquor license and to have the market. So the City Vista store and the store in the Atlas District both sell tomatoes, phenomenal sauces, pastas. We sell beer. We sell Italian wines.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you guys. I think you should pass this around because I think Kim O'Donnell needs some.
I told her to take one.
Come on, let's go. Come on. Everybody try.
All right, so tell us what you brought in today.
Well, wait. I want to just say something because this happens to be my area of expertise, this kind of food.
Well, apparently not because you're putting mayo and mustard on yours.
No, and that's good. This is really good. And you're right about the bread. The bread, because a mushy chunk of bread on a sub kills it.
Yeah. One of the things that when we were coming up with the concept was finding the baker. And we have a driver who drives up to Philadelphia every single morning to pick the bread up. He drives from Alexandria at about 3 o'clock, gets down to the store somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock. He's put over 360,000 miles on his car since he started working for us. But we tried area bakers to say, hey, here's a roll. Can you guys replicate it? This is what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. And no one has been able to do it. We probably went through 12 and 13 bakers, and I can't tell you how many hours of samplings. And
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you find a product that you really love, and it works. Okay, so what are these?
All right, those are risotto balls.
Okay. And how did those come on the menu? I mean, it's so different from what you're serving here.
Yeah, well, those came on the menu. They're a staple. We make risotto every morning. Stuff them with fresh mozzarella. Mm-hmm. Bread them in breadcrumbs that we make from the leftover sarcones rolls.
Cool.
Right?
Reuse.
Yep. And then fry them till they're crispy. They're really, really tasty.
Yum. All right. Well, we have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll talk about more of the samplings you brought here.
And we'll talk about delivery, which you do.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. We found that out last night. I was like, who knew? Well, now I know. Anyway, this is David and Nikki Nellis with Dishing It Out. We're going to talk more Taylor Gourmet. We'll be right back.